Okay, welcome to Creativity's Top 5. I'm Alexandra Jardine, Associate Creativity Editor in London.
Hey, I'm Ishan Sherwood, Associate Creativity Editor in New York.
And I'm Jessica Wall, reporter in Chicago. Hi, everybody.
Hi, hey. So hey Jessica, how are you and how's things in Chicago?
It is a gray day to match my gray shirt, but so far so good. We made it through the short week, which felt like a long week. I don't know about the two of you, but even though it was only 4 days this week, it felt longer than usual.
Yeah, it was super busy.
Yeah,
they're the longest. Thanks for filling in for Anne. I think we'll get to why we've brought you on the show this week, maybe a little bit later. But hey, everyone, it's the top 5, and let's kick it off with number 5. All right, we've got donation dollar in Australia. Saatchi and Saatchi Melbourne, Saatchi and Saatchi Melbourne, teamed up with the Australian Mint to put together an actual piece of legal tender that reminds people to donate to charity. Max, can we take a look?
Sometimes you have to make something to make a difference. Introducing Donation Dollar. We're minting one for every Australian. Creating millions of reminders to give. When you find one in your change, donate it to those who need it most. Donation Dollar, the small coin made to make a difference.
Hey, so just before we talk about that one, I just wanted to say, if everyone could say hi on our social channels and tell us where they're watching from. Yeah.
We'll give you a shout out. So what I did like about this, at first I watched this and I was a little like, why didn't you just spend all the money you made making these coins and just give it to charity? But it is actual legal tender. They were going to make these coins anyway. They just have a new design that, as you can see, it says donation dollar on it. So the sort of point is you'll get it in your change. In Australia, people are getting change, unlike most parts of the United States right now. And you look at it and you go, oh, right, I could just give this away. I could give to somebody else. I could, make sure that I give a digital donation to a charity. It's a quick reminder that that's something that you can do, especially in times like this when so many people are at work.
Yeah, I think this is a really innovative idea. I mean, charities have got a huge problem at the moment. I think the usual tactics that they get to use people to give, like appealing to your empathy, for instance, are really difficult when everybody around the world is feeling like they've suffered from this pandemic. People have been made redundant or they're on furlough and they don't feel like giving money. But this is just a reminder that you only have to give a little bit. And I think the aim is that if you get $1 for every Australian, which is what they aim to make, then you could make 3 billion Australian dollars over 10 years.
Yeah, I'm curious to see where these dollars wind up. If people, hopefully they won't be hoarding them. Hopefully they will actually be donating them. We could have the problem that we're having in the US where people are holding onto their change and now there isn't spare change to be giving out to people. So, maybe they make an online donation or something like that when they come across one of these coins.
Yeah, hopefully we're not seeing those cardboard little carrying cases where you save the 50 donation dollars and you just blend
the
in
map, the cardboard map,
right? Like quarters.
Yeah. The quarter map.
The video does remind me a little bit of the wood turning and metalworking videos that I've been watching pretty much constantly during quarantine. Now that I can't watch Bon Appetit food videos anymore, so I think that appeals to people stuck at home.
Yeah. Okay, we have some shout outs here. We've got Michael from Smoky, California. Shams from Bangladesh, Connor from Massachusetts, Luis from Venezuela, Liu from Hong Kong, David from Kansas, Tamika from Florida, Chris from England, and Wale from Nigeria. So hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. And sorry about my mad waving back there a few minutes ago. That there was a guy outside my window trying to deliver a parcel, and he was getting really angry with me for not coming to the door. So that's what that was. Anyway, moving on. At number 4, we have a campaign to which our first reaction was, this is so wrong, it's hilarious. It's from Liquid Death, which is a heavy metal themed water brand. Their tagline is "Murder Your Thirst." And their agency Humanort came up with the idea of a killer baby name generator. The idea is you put in your last name, the gender of your unborn child, and what career you want them to have, and it comes up with a heavy metal style name. So you can have names like Deathany Killface. They also said that if somebody actually uses this and produces a legal birth certificate, they will give that child a supply of Liquid Death until they turn 18. There's a great video to go with it, so let's take a look at that one now.
Studies show the name you give your baby has the power to influence every aspect of their life, from their career choices to their relationships. That's why Liquid Death created the Killer Baby Namer. Each killer baby name has been vetted by our experts to scientifically maximize your baby's chances of success in life. Just go to killerbabynamer.com, enter your last name, and mash the generate button to receive a killer name like Deathany Killface, Dr. Murderbones, or Zorglum the Destroyer. Nobody's gonna fuck with those babies. Did you know employers can attach their biases to names on resumes? So when Crograph McKillington Clark applies for a job, you know that baby is going straight to the top. And let's just say, if you name your baby Haggis Murder Hornet, when she jumps on a conference call, everybody's gonna know who's boss.
Hey guys, Haggis Murder Hornet here.
Plus, how many matches do you think Megalodon Bone Crusher is gonna get? Yeah, better teach that baby sex ed early. Are you some sort of flat earther that's not convinced by science, but like free stuff? If you give your baby a name from our killer baby namer, like Glogzam Goblin Lord, and send us a copy of their birth certificate to prove it, we'll send you an 18-year supply of Liquid Death so you can keep them hydrated until you're legally allowed to forcibly remove them from your home. The Killer Baby Namer. Just another way Liquid Death is making the world a better place.
I don't want your milk, Mommy. I want Liquid Death, for I am Dr. Murderbones, Archangel of Liquid Death.
So what do we think of that?
This one still makes me laugh. I don't really get why you need heavy metal water, but you know what? If that's what gets you hydrated during these tough times, go for it. If anyone actually goes through with this and uses this to pick out their kid's name, congratulations on 18 years of water, and please let us know.
Story about you.
Yeah, I'm going to be following it up. But do you know what? As somebody who went interrailing in Europe in the 90s with a best friend who was into Metallica in a big way, I would not be surprised if somebody does this.
Oh, I would not be surprised at all. I would not be surprised at all. You might remember last year or the year before, KFC had a campaign to name your kid Colonel Sanders. And someone actually named their kid Harlan Sanders to get $11,000 for college, I think. So free water for 18 years is, worth more than $11,000.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if they have to keep that name for 18 years or whether they can just change it a year later and still get the water. I don't know.
I mean, it looks like you get a whole pallet. All right. So once you've already got it, change your name all you want. Athena actually on LinkedIn just made a point here that I had remembered. A bunch of people named their kid Khaleesi, which is like not a good name since it's from Game of Thrones, but also like she murders a bunch of people. Dr. Murderbones though, is a physical therapist.
Says Ambassador Pestilence Sherwood.
Ambassador Pestilence, hello. Welcome to the top 5.
Yeah, let's just reintroduce ourselves again. I'm Inspector Bone Crusher Jardine.
I'm Dr. Murderbones Wall.
I think also this is sort of a campaign for the times. Like, there are Nazis in America and juggalos are anti-racist. So, lean into heavy metal.
Yeah,
it does
why
get
not?
people's attention. I mean, it got our attention, right? It made it to the top 5.
Yeah, I mean, it's memorable. And if you haven't heard of Liquid Death until now, which I haven't personally, then now you have.
All right, everyone, stay hydrated. So next up, number 3, another Apple spot. Of course, there's an Apple spot in the top 5. Always is. From Media Arts Lab. This one is all about TMI. It's a bunch of people telling you stuff that maybe they shouldn't be telling you. Let's take a look, and you'll see why.
I've browsed 8 sites for divorce attorneys today. I browsed 8 sites for divorce attorneys today.
My login for everything is Pauline@paulinefoo.com.
I love working with you.
Me too.
Red heart emoji.
Pink heart emoji.
Yellow heart emoji.
Blue heart emoji.
I hate Lee though.
Puke emoji.
Puke emoji.
I am currently reading an article titled 10 Ways to Keep Sweaty Hands from Holding You Back.
My home is in 1,000 feet.
My heart rate is currently 150, 151, 152, and back down to 150.
On March 15th at 9:16 a.m., I purchased prenatal vitamins and 4 pregnancy tests.
The number on my credit card is 0237 1221 0725 0211.
So, of course, this is an ad meant to highlight Apple's privacy. If you remember back at CES, when CES was a thing, they put up a big surprise billboard also about privacy. Apple's been pretty good on this front, although it's interesting to note the particular privacy protections they're talking about in this ad have actually been delayed till next week because some people were a little upset about their implementation.
So they're running the ad about privacy before the privacy stuff is actually working?
I believe it was released because it was supposed to kick in very soon, and then it got pushed back, and the ad was already out. So.
That's unfortunate. I think if you're going to do an ad about privacy, you've got to be careful. Having said that, I do really like this ad. I think it's very slick, like all the recent Apple work. It's really well crafted. It's pacey. There's the right balance of humor with a product message. And also, I don't know if you noticed at the end the little Apple logo turning into a padlock, which I think is neat as well.
Yeah, it was a cute little click at the end. I do think, though, it's interesting to you wonder while people are watching this ad, are they also thinking, oh my goodness, that's exactly what I put on the internet, or that's exactly what I typed into Google this morning. Like, think before you type is prevalent. So it's good.
Do you think there are 14-year-olds on TikTok watching that ad and being like, what's the problem? I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I mean, I think that generation knows that everything they put out there is basically in the public domain. And if they don't, maybe this ad is the way to show them, although it is showing adults making the mistakes, right?
I mean, speaking of adults making mistakes, it reminds me, actually just now, I think there's a hacker collective that sort of released things that they did in 2016, and they were able to get into Trump's Twitter account because the password was "you're fired." And apparently it was a password used in a lot of places. It had been revealed earlier, and they were like, let's just try it on Twitter, and it totally worked. So,
yeah. Well, maybe Trump needs to be watching that ad then, just to remind him.
The guy on the bus, though, there are certain parts of this ad that made me think this is pre-pandemic times. Guy on a crowded bus, doesn't have a mask on. Like, that was what got me at first. When I first watched it and didn't know the whole story, I was like, why is a guy on a bus talking to other people without a mask on? Like, that was my first reaction. I don't know if anyone else out there, anytime I see an ad now that's from the pre-pandemic times or tries to ignore the fact that it's going on, it takes me out of reality for a second.
Yeah, it's like anytime you watch a show and people are hugging or something, you're thinking, no, don't do that.
Yeah. Exactly.
And actually, when we get sent work to review, a lot of the time people will mention this was shot before COVID, just to kind of reassure you that they weren't breaking any rules.
Right.
Shall we move on to number 2? At number 2 this week, we have a spot from Mint Mobile, which is the mobile brand owned by Ryan Reynolds, who owns a lot of different brands. As you might expect from him, it's typically quirky and humorous. Essentially, he's bringing back Rick Moranis, who is the star of 80s movies like Ghostbusters and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, who actually has been absent from movies since the 90s, when very sadly he was widowed and he left to bring up his family. So we haven't really seen him on screen for years. Ryan Reynolds explains that he's the perfect person to introduce Mint Mobile's new unlimited plan because it's gone too long without having one. So let's take a look at that.
It's hard to believe that Mint Mobile has gone so long without an unlimited plan. So to introduce it, we brought in an actor we've all gone too long without. Rick Moranis.
So what do you want me to do? You want me to say something about Mint?
No, that would have been smart. But no, it's $30. It's unlimited. It'll do just fine.
Sounds good. I really got to get a phone. So why am I here?
I'm just a huge fan.
Oh, stop it. Come on,
No,
stop it.
seriously. Massive.
That's it?
That's it.
See ya.
Hi, Rick Moranis.
I think the comedy here stems from the chemistry that these two have partly, and just that it's kind of so random. He hasn't asked him to do anything. He's just a huge fan. What do you guys think?
I need more Rick Moranis in my life. I don't know that I need this ad. I need more Rick Moranis and Ryan Reynolds in my life. Let's be clear, both of them. It fell a little flat to me. I like it, but I don't love it. Maybe I'm in the minority.
I mean, if you have Rick Moranis, he can do a lot. So they could have leaned into it a little bit. But I do think that it is pretty obvious that Ryan Reynolds isn't making this up. It isn't just a line. He's definitely a big fan of Rick Moranis and was like, oh, you know who would be really great to have on? Because there have been campaigns to get Rick Moranis back into the industry for years. I mean, ever since he left.
And I think it's great. I think it's great to see him fan geeking out about Rick Moranis. I mean, that's what anybody would do if you ran into him in a field of Mint. I don't know. It was just a little random, but maybe that's why it's doing so well.
I know it went really viral on Twitter. This, like, as soon as it came out, people were getting very excited about it. So maybe there's just a lot of Rick Moranis fans out there as well.
Oh, there absolutely are. There's no question that there's a lot of fans out there. I think they're bringing out a new Honey, I Shrunk the Kids update, remake, something at some point if filming ever resumes, right? So a whole new generation of people might figure out who he is. I know we've shown Ghostbusters to my kids, so like they know who he is, but they're not buying phones.
Go show Spaceballs to your entire family right now.
Oh yeah, my kids love Spaceballs.
Yeah.
And he also posted a memo, I think, on Twitter in which he says that 2020 has been weird and we all need Rick Moranis. So that's another explanation of why. And yeah, I think we can agree.
Yeah.
I believe there are two other spots in the series. One with ostensibly the descendant of Paul Revere, and one with the most recent Teacher of the Year. And so it's really just sort of these like people who you don't know, bouncing off of Ryan Reynolds, who both seem actually like pretty happy to like just be in a commercial with Ryan Reynolds.
Are they as happy to be in a commercial with Ryan Reynolds as Ryan Reynolds is to be in a commercial with Rick Moranis?
No. I mean, that's basically the height of happiness at this point, actually. All right, so we have some shout outs. Jeffet from Georgia, Michael from Toronto, Cesar from Guatemala, Cathal from Ireland, Abdirahim from Chad, Ayub from Morocco, Alvin from Kenya, Mohammed from Saudi Arabia, and Cheryl from Canada. Now, before we get to number one, there's a couple other spots that we'd like to talk about. And if you don't mind, I would like to kick it off because we had a holiday weekend recently, which is why we had this short week in the US. And of course, that means that there was a new Pornhub spot because they do safe for work holiday ads all the time. This one was a celebration of hardworking men. Let's take a look.
This Labor Day, Pornhub wants to take a moment to thank all the people who keep America up and running every day. Because their hard work inspires all of our jobs. So thank you to the gardeners for always taking care of that bush. And to the professors for helping with those oral exams. Let's thank the plumbers for laying the pipe every day. The massage therapists for being so good with their hands. And the delivery guys for serving it up nice and hot. And this year, more than ever, we can't forget to thank the doctors for their thorough examinations. To the workers of America, we thank you. And even though this may not be a normal Labor Day, you can still take part in that time-honored tradition of getting off on your day off.
So, of course, this is from Officer and Gentleman, the Madrid agency that has worked with Pornhub for many years. It is also a spot that really is sort of the moment, right? Like we see tons of these essential worker spots, thanking them for, getting out there. And this is basically just that.
Just that on their terms, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, could you cram any more innuendo into one spot? I'd like to see it done.
Yeah.
I think that's on Pornhub, Alex. So
there's a video for that somewhere on the internet and probably on their site. They keep going with themselves. They're true to their brand, and you got to give them credit for it. So he has lots of costumes at the ready. That's for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, we like this one a lot. We had a few from Pornhub on here recently, so didn't quite make it into the top 5 this week. We're going to talk about another one now, which went viral for all the wrong reasons in a way. It's an outdoor ad from Dettol, which was running in London on the London Underground. It lists things that people have apparently been missing about office life, like seeing your second family, water cooler conversations, hearing buzzwords, and proper bants, which for some reason was a phrase that really annoyed people. But the thing was that it really misread the mood of the nation, because people do not want to go back to the office, and actually they don't miss things about it. So people started posting their own versions on social media, listing all the things they hate about the office and saying things like, "Thank you, Dettol, for convincing me to work from home forever." People also rewrote, people also compared it to the opening lines of Train Spotting and wrote their own versions of that. Also, I think one of the reasons that it went so viral was people actually mistook it for some kind of government ad trying to tell us all to go back to work, which is what our government has been doing.
Right. I'm surprised there isn't graffiti just at the bottom that says, love Boris.
Yeah.
Or like any kind of product image. I mean, I get the lines and lines of copy, but you don't really get the product message for a long time.
Yeah, I think it's part of a wider campaign about using Dettol for all the daily things, little things you do in your daily life. I mean, maybe the criticism is a bit unfair. It's not a bad ad. It just, I think the timing just is unfortunate.
Yeah, I think it kind of missed the mark on 2 levels, right? Like, one is a lot of the things that it lists are things that are actually literally dangerous, like getting in a lift with somebody else and standing around the water cooler and like talking. But others are like things that nobody misses. Nobody misses putting on a tie, right? Nobody misses like lugging around your briefcase or your handbag. And then a lot of these things are things that we can do right now from home, like accidentally CCing everybody on, in corporate. I'm sure I'll do later today.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, some of the things that I saw were people kind of going, hang on a minute, it's not like we've all been sitting at home doing no work. We have all been working. We have all been in the office. We're just at home. So it kind of offended people for that reason as well.
Alex, you're a Britisher. Dettol is a big brand over there.
Yeah, it's a huge brand made by Reckitt Benckiser, and I think it's one of the brands that has done really well in the pandemic because it's basically a disinfectant.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think its sales will be harmed by this, and maybe it's one of those examples of all publicity being good. I don't know.
I think that's a really good point, actually. Like, it's a disinfectant. People aren't going to be like, well, I didn't like their ad, and so I'm not going to buy it. It's one of those instances where, like, this probably isn't going to hurt them at all. And if anything, might be a reminder for people to pick up some disinfectant on the way home.
Yeah.
If you can find it in stores.
Right.
Yeah.
Just go to the office and steal it from there.
Oh, there you go. Take the tube and go steal from the office. And while you're there, don't lick anything or breathe on anything or put your hands on anything, and you'll be fine.
You're fine.
Before we go to our number one this week, just wanted to draw your attention to the QR code on the screen here, which you can use. You can scan that to get a full list of the winners. So now I'm going to have
and then one more spot from last week was from McDonald's. Jessica, you want to talk about that one a bit?
Sure. So Ishan actually got a chance to look at this ad as well before it debuted. But McDonald's has a Travis Scott meal on the menu for about a month or so. It's a quarter pounder with bacon and some fries served with barbecue sauce and a Sprite. And McDonald's found a unique Travis Scott way to promote this meal. Let's take a look. So if you see the picture there, you see the little Travis Scott type face made out of fries. The video itself, which you can find on the Creativity site, will show you a Travis Scott action figure who miraculously picks up that Sprite. It's pretty funny, and it's very on brand. And I will have to say, this meal, even though it's a meal that you would think McDonald's could put out there whenever, a quarter pounder with bacon, and suggesting that you dip your fries in barbecue sauce, is doing ridiculously well because Travis Scott is attached to it. Even the signs from the restaurants and the crew member T-shirts that have a special Travis Scott, the Cactus Jack logo on them, are being sold on eBay for hundreds of dollars, or they're being posted on eBay for hundreds of dollars. Who knows if anyone will actually buy them yet? But it's pretty funny. So. Yeah, there's a look at the Travis Scott figure, and I don't know if we can play this, but if not, we can play it. Let's take a look.
What's up, world? Yeah, you. I'm Travis Scott. This is my McDonald's order. Follow me. Here's my quarter pounder with lettuce, pickles, onions, ketchup, mustard, and bacon. Here's my fries. Sometimes I do this. Then I dip them into barbecue sauce. Oh yeah, and my Sprite. Same order since back in Houston, and you can try it too. Gotta go. The Travis Scott meal, just $6. Say Cactus Jack sent you.
And I did like that little "it's lit" before the "I'm loving it." I don't know if you both caught that at the end of the ad, but very on brand for both Travis Scott and McDonald's. So I don't know. Have you had a chance to try this yet, guys? Probably not.
I don't think they would have it in the UK, but who knows?
No, I have not, but I did like, it's a nice iteration of, a tagline they've had for a really long time that's been really successful, and just like changing it just a little bit to update it without actually like getting rid of it.
Yeah. It's a good use of it, and there could be some merch. I'm not sure. I know there's a mention here about people were upset that there's not actually a Travis Scott action figure, but who knows? Never say never. I mean, I don't think they would put him in a Happy Meal. Let's be clear. But, I think having the idea of a meal for fans and trying to reach that age group that's interested in Travis Scott, it's a $6 meal. It's a pretty easy sell for his fans, and he did go out and meet some fans. Apparently, he autographed a crew member's T-shirt, and if you want to buy it, it's on eBay for $3,200.
If you do really want the action figure right now, they do exist. They were made back in, I think, 2016, because the action figure is on the cover of his original album. So, an artist puts them together, and now, of course, they are available on eBay for several $1,000s.
Yes. So anyway, I think this does lead nicely into our number one pick of the week. McDonald's shows up in an ad, but it's actually an ad from its rival Burger King. This one is done by TBWA Helsinki for Burger King, and it's the Burger King mascot seeming to kiss Ronald McDonald in an ad for Helsinki Pride Week. It's an ad that's showing up on bus station, the bus stops and things like that, and it's just very simple. It's an illustration of the King and Ronald McDonald embracing with the tagline, "Love conquers all." Burger King has done a lot of Pride work in various markets throughout the world. This is obviously from Finland, but it's getting seen elsewhere, which is often what happens with a print or an outdoor campaign. Even though it's only meant for Finland, we're seeing it pop up online. So what are your thoughts on this one?
I think this is one of these ones that's just so simple and so good. It doesn't need a lot of explanation. You just immediately look at it and know what they're saying. And it's great. There's been so much rivalry between McDonald's and Burger King. It could almost be Trump and Biden meeting up for a kiss or something.
Please no. Please do not make that ad happen. They did put out a statement saying Burger King has always stood for love, for equality, love, and everyone's right to be just the way they are. And did mention the fact that where it might not seem so is when we're bantering with our competitor, but we want to be clear, it all stems from the respect we have for them. And we know McDonald's stands for the values we stand for too. Just to be clear, I did reach out to McDonald's about this one. They didn't want to weigh in, but it's a Pride Week effort, and I applaud the illustration. I think it's a nice look. So
yeah. And Jessica, Burger King just keeps on getting it right, doesn't it? And the great thing is that all the work, it's not just down to one agency or one market. It seems to come up with great ideas all over the world. Have you got any thoughts on why or how it achieves that?
They have really good conversations with their agencies. They seem to always be in touch with their agencies and taking pitches from wherever they come. So it's not a dedicated AOR relationship, one AOR globally for the brand. It works with a variety of agencies, and whoever has the great idea gets to execute it. So that's the beauty of it, is they can keep it fresh by rotating among the different groups that they work with. They've done other Pride work, obviously, in the past, and Proud Whopper was one of their most winning campaigns ever, I think, when that came out. So it will be interesting to see what happens maybe with Pride Week here in the States next year.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that every June, we get a bunch of Pride campaigns. A lot of brands are weighing in on that. But then the thing we always say is it would be great if we could also see these throughout the rest of the year, right? Because you don't need to necessarily keep Pride tied to 1 week or 1 month, and here we are, right? Of course, it's tied to Helsinki Pride, but it's nice that we're sort of seeing the expansion of these kinds of messaging throughout the rest of the year.
Good point.
Anyway, I think that's it for this week. So thank you all very much for watching, and we will be back next Friday with more amazing work. And in the meantime, let us know if you've got any more thoughts. Let us know on our social channels.
All right. Thanks for letting me crash your creativity top 5 this week.
Anytime.
Come back anytime. Come back anytime.